one might say, you know what a good podcast name would have been?
Expensive petroleum.
No, extremist views, but instead of like extreme, like streaming.
Oh, okay.
It's not as good as hate speech, but it's up there.
Go look at the.
The thumbnail disappeared from me.
It's not very good. It's not very good, but I was like, so orange is the new white and black, or black and white?
Black and white?
Black and white bars, you know, ha. We got a lot to unpack tonight.
Yes, we do. And I'm actually, I need to pull something up because I assume since it happened first, we'll probably start with Brittney. Well, I guess technically Pelosi happened first.
We can start with anybody because honestly,
I was going to say, I want to start with Brittney Griner because I have some rebuttals.
Like what?
Well, so
like what? All right, just
our
checking.
Our first short, which is currently at over 5,000 views, which I know for YouTube isn't shit, but for us is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, dude. Thanks, guys.
Some of the comments. Now, I understand you don't have to agree with us, but if you're going to argue, know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Let's see, where was it?
I did my best to diffuse some of them with comedy.
Yeah. Well, and some of these people need to learn how to use punctuation. Because your meaning is very unclear. So I think this is it. Okay, so not all these are rebuttals. I'm just going to breeze through a couple real quick, ones that I noticed. We had one person say not singing for national anthem is a protest, not an indication that one dislikes the U.S. This person is not wrong. However, I was simply pointing out the irony that this person, Ms. Griner, it's Griner.
Mm-hmm.
I almost like Grima.
Grima worm tongue.
Exactly. No. That Ms. Griner, or Mrs. technically, because she's married, but she's married to a lady. So would that still be Mrs.?
Yeah.
Sure.
Because
Ms. Griner.
Ms. and Mrs. or Miss. Or it's
that is a reality show on the USA Network. Anyway, so to this person, which it just says GC, GC, I agree with you in principle. However, in this particular case, I think it's pretty clear that Griner is just. So a lot of these people that are hating on America, it comes from a place of resentment when they really don't have all that much to resent. Like, yes, she does not have as much money as LeBron James, but that is not LeBron James's fault. So I agree with you in premise, but not in practice. You can't, and then Mr. Roxo 117, sorry, says you can't protest the government and then also ask them for support. I mean, you can.
You just look like a hypocrite.
Yeah, that's all we're saying. And I want to be very clear. I'm not saying that the U.S. government should not try to get her out. I'm simply pointing out the fact that it's not funny. Ha ha. I mean, it's kind of funny.
Why would you think that the government needs to extradite her here?
Because the government is going to be the bigger person, and I agree with that. Because that is one of the main reasons why I love America, is the fact that we, as a society, as an ideal, we fight to protect the rights of the people that hate our fucking guts. It's what we do.
But also, I would think as a country, we should respect other countries' laws.
Yes and
believe
no.
Believe me, I'm all for legalization of marijuana
well,
and all that fun stuff. Russia's like.
You got to be careful though, because what you just said. Should we respect Sharia law?
Not here. There.
I don't.
It's not our country.
Well, but here's the thing.
That's what I'm saying.
When it comes to extremist Sharia law, because I will be the first to admit
I'm on your side on that.
I am not a Muslim. I don't know to what extent Sharia law actually goes through in the normal religion of Islam.
You would have to talk with
Yeah, I'd have to talk with devout, and the answer is probably going to differ. But I'm talking about extremists like Taliban level Sharia law. That's something that shouldn't be supported, in my opinion. That's something that shouldn't be supported anywhere. Certainly not with a willing participant.
Yeah, and 9 years for a weed cartridge.
That's fucking ridiculous.
That's
I think it's
excessive.
pretty obvious. I think it's pretty obvious that Russia is using Griner as a political pawn.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And here's the thing: do I think she's going to serve 9 years? No.
Did you hear who they're trying to get her traded for?
I forget his name.
I don't know his name, but he's an arms dealer. It's like, okay.
I'm just forgetting his name. But yeah, they'll figure something out. Boris Borskov.
But no, yeah, it makes zero sense to me. Like that big of sentence for that. It just is. Nah.
Well, but keep in mind again, and this isn't, well, might be in Russia. Not that I'm aware of. This is not the case in Russia. But there are countries around the world where if you are caught stealing, your hand will be cut off. So, and yet people still steal.
That's my point. Like, the thing is, like, she was saying she made a mistake, and it's like, yeah, you made a mistake, but you also went into a country that you apparently don't know the laws, and you smuggled something in, right? I mean, smuggling. I don't think it's necessarily. I know.
I wouldn't say she smuggled.
Well, I mean,
it was found at customs in her bag. That's not smuggling. That's
technical term. I mean, she.
Well, is it smuggling if somebody leaves something in your car and you cross the border? I mean, legally, yes, but was she actually smuggling?
Yeah, but if you're crossing the border, depending on like Mexico or Canada, like it depends. But the thing is, I mean, they're still going to charge you, the driver.
Right.
They're not going to hear you out. Here in America, we'll hear you out, for the most part.
Yeah, it's largely dependent upon your social demographic.
That and what it is.
Yeah. But then we did have some support, too. We had Dex take weed vape cartridges into a country that's very anti-weed, leave her dumbass there to rot. I don't agree with the second part, but
I don't think she should be like, there for that long. I could see like 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say,
like
I do think
years?
she can. That's ridiculous. I do think she should serve some jail time. Just like I would for anyone.
Because the thing is, like, if she broke the laws in another country and then she's extradited here and she's got a smack on the wrist, that other country is going to be like, really?
Okay, there's 2 more comments I want to address. Oh, 3. Take that back. We had Me Bear Dog the second, I think. If she was white, you wouldn't be making this video. That is not true.
Yeah,
at all.
To be honest, I had no idea who she was at first. I don't know
no
why I thought she was a white woman, but
and inadvertently proving our point is we're going to be talking about Alex Jones tonight, and we've talked about. You obviously haven't seen the episode I did comparing the Ahmaud Arbery case versus the Kyle Rittenhouse case. Basically the implication is being that we're racist and we don't like black people, which is fucking absurd.
No, that's because that's everybody's go-to.
Well, yeah, it's like, oh, you might. But here's the thing: what do you do if we're not racist?
They walk away screeching.
Yeah. Like, what do you do? Oh, well, actually, we're not racist. Oh, okay. And then we had 900-3-2. The flag thing has been debunked over and over again. Now, and to think you have the audacity to call someone a moron, it's to protest police brutality, has nothing to do with troops or to be seen as anti-patriotic. I agree to disagree on that one. I understand your main motivation may be, but let's be real here. What does not standing for the national anthem actually accomplish other than I want attention? That's all it does. And frankly, I think you'd cover a lot more ground, and this isn't just to this particular instance, this is all-encompassing. Yes, the United States, in certain areas, certainly has a problem with police brutality. It kind of always has. But I think you'd go a lot further, and I could be wrong here, if you come at it from a thing of like, listen, I love this country, and there's something wrong here, and I want to fix it, and I can use my platform and my celebrity status, no matter how big or small that may be, to bring this issue up. But I'm not going to, like, That's literally like saying, hey, you're doing something wrong, and then pissing on their shoe and then lecturing them on what they're doing wrong. They're not going to be receptive to your criticism. Because if you flip somebody off and then tell them how they can improve their driving, they're not going to listen to you.
Stay in lane, man.
Yeah. And then we've got... I hope I'm pronouncing this right. If I'm not, I apologize. Get Pandarichthis Rhambolopus. Okay, whiteys, find yourselves a real job. Oh, man.
Boy, I wish we got paid for this to call it a job.
Yeah, I know, right? And then not only that, I love it when people talk shit and they have no fucking clue. Like, none. We work too much, dipshit. Real job, my fucking ass. Yeah, I wish this was a fucking job. Anyway, so those were the comments I wanted to sort of address. But touching on the flag thing, if you recall, in that video, I said apparently she didn't stand for the national anthem or some shit. Now, for those of us that speak English, that essentially means that I've heard something, but I don't know. Now, I've since looked it up, and not only was she refusing to stand for the national anthem, her entire team refused to stand for the national anthem for a season. So it wasn't debunked, ass face. It was true. So, yeah. Anyway.
Anywho.
But now, getting to the meat of the matter, I've taken some time to reflect on this, and after hearing the sentence, I'm basically of the opinion, like, listen, that she made a mistake, but in the scheme of things, this is not really that big of a deal. And yes, the United States should try to get her out of this situation, even though she put herself there. But I don't think we should be trading arms dealers.
No, and that's the big issue about this is they're going to be like, oh, we've got somebody you want, and the United States is going to be like, do we really want her?
Well, and this is where Biden's kind of in a no-win situation.
He's going to fumble it.
Well, but even if he wasn't going to fumble it, he's kind of in a no-win situation, and it's not really his fault, because there's three possibilities that are going to happen. One, they're going to trade her for the arms dealer, and now Biden is somebody who negotiates with terrorists. Not, the Russians aren't terrorists, but it's a figure of speech. Like, we don't negotiate with terrorists. Although, is an arms dealer a terrorist? I don't know.
Listen, take a step back and literally fuck your own face! We don't negotiate with terrorists.
That's the best fucking part of that movie, man.
I didn't even know that was Tom Cruise for a minute.
I know. That makes it so bright.
Take a step back and literally fuck your own face.
I completely lost it.
G6. So, no, we should not negotiate with them because it's fucking Russia.
Well, it's we can negotiate with Russia.
Well,
we've
shown
before,
a sign of I understand, but like what they're asking for is like kids going to school and eating school lunch, and someone has a fucking badass Lunchable, and you've got a peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah, these things are. This is not a deal. The other possibility, one of the three, is that they leave Griner there. And now we really look bad because we're like, oh, well, okay, so the United States doesn't care. And yes, this will play into her race because of the optics of it. And here's the thing. It would be hard to argue. I'm not saying this is true, but it would be hard to argue from Biden's perspective. It would be hard to argue the point that, say, either if it had been LeBron James or if it had been a white person, it's hard to argue the optics of that. So I don't really like that position. And then even if they come to a deal that isn't ridiculous and they get Griner released and back to the U.S., everyone who is currently in jail for cannabis possession is going to be that meme at the soccer stadium. Just
It's not good.
what might happen here?
I need to interrupt you for a second. Remember your thought. Why the hell haven't they let fucking people who are charged with marijuana charges out? Like, why are they still in prison? There are people doing life. And I understand, like, they were running, like, hundreds of pounds, and you're like, I'm like, it's fucking weed.
They need to use it to run on for 2022 and 2024. Okay. Like, that's not a joke. That's legit.
No, I'm with you, right? 100%.
And here's the fucked up thing. If the Democrats win in 2024, which there ain't no fucking way, but if they did...
They're talking AOC is they're going to be their head runner because she turns 35 in time for fucking... for voting primaries.
You know what? Please.
Go ahead.
Please. The cannon fodder of entertainment will be...
Oh my god, we'll have content forever. Can you imagine if she won?
Could you imagine Trump versus AOC in a debate?
I don't think it's going to be Trump. I think it's going to be DeSantis.
I don't think it'll be Trump either, but that... Oh god. Well, I'll take DeSantis and AOC, but that'll just be embarrassing. At least with AOC and Trump, it would be funny.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I know. With AOC and DeSantis, it will just be... It'll just be sad.
I need a toothpick.
It'll like AOC and DeSantis will be like the Animal Planet videos where like the lions surround the baby gazelle, and it's like there's no way.
No, it would be like the what was it, the nature videos of all the animals where they dubbed over it. Helen. The little what was that, a beaver?
Yes, it was.
Oh, it's so
or
funny.
Was it, or it might have been a prairie dog.
I don't know, but then the other part where somebody like dubbed over that one, and it's just like that beaver, and it's just like Just
that was a prairie dog. I remember that one. So the other and this is how I hope it happens. I hope that they do get her back to the U.S. with a lesser sort of deal, not for an arms dealer. And then everybody's like, what the fuck, Joe? I know like 6 people that are in prison right now for nonviolent drug offenses.
And this is gonna be a big political stunt. And it's gonna backfire on him if he fucking goes through with it. Regardless. Now what he needs to do is be like, listen, 9 years, it's a little too long. I could see like 8-9 months, you know. I could see 9 months. 9 years, 9 months.
Yeah, 9 months I could see.
So the thing is, you know, be like, try to wiggle it down, you know, over there. And I hate to say it like that, you know. Everybody's like, well, she needs to come back here. I was like, well, she committed the crime over there.
Yeah,
why would she do time here? You
it's
know,
a
but
little
the thing
outside our jurisdiction.
But the 9 years is way too excessive for fucking marijuana. I mean, she didn't have like a pound of fucking weed on her. She had a couple carts, right?
Yeah, it was a couple of and it wasn't. It was technically hash oil. If we're gonna get specific.
Listen to you, you're pro.
Well, I mean, one of these things is not necessarily like the other.
Yeah.
Well, what I love though is a lot of people are like, "Well, she had a prescription." I'm like, "Yeah, for her glaucoma." Got a fucking prescription. Give me a fucking break.
Anxiety.
Just fucking own it. Just own it. Fuck.
Anxiety.
You like to smoke weed. Just own it.
Who cares?
Yeah, any more. I got glaucoma.
It's like, for one, you're in another country. You're a famous person. I guarantee you someone would come up to you and probably sell you some shit in that country so you don't have to smuggle it through customs.
Well, that's the thing. I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt. I don't think she was smuggling anything. I think she had
No,
just packed.
I'm saying, people say smuggling. What they mean is it was in her package. Yeah. She knew it was in there. It's not a mistake. Yeah. She knew it was in there. It's not. That's saying, oh my god, I didn't see that big ass vibrator.
She did. Now, there is a slight grain of truth here, and I want to give credit where credit's due. This situation would have been different if it had been LeBron James.
Because, oh yeah.
Well, here's the thing, though. This is why. LeBron James would have never brought hash oil into Russia because there would have been about 60 people being like, LeBron, this is a list of shit that you don't even say when you're in Russia, much less bring into the country.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could be wrong here. But my common sense would tell me, if I'm going to a foreign country, I probably shouldn't take anything but clothes.
And it's like, look, do I feel
just on
bad
the
for
off
her?
chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel bad for her, but at the same time, I'm like, I mean, I've done dumb shit, and I've gotten in trouble for it. So it's
not
like
that dumb.
No, but it's like I've done dumb shit before, and I've gotten in trouble for it. So it's like, hey, guess what? You learn your lesson. But I mean, this is a tough one, because this is like, I'm gonna take a beating out on your ass. You know, Dad caught you in the liquor cabinet. I don't have a liquor cabinet.
He put me in the basement for 9 years.
No. I am your father.
Completely unrelated. I went through and watched all the Planet of the Apes movies, the new ones.
Oh, they're pretty.
You just reminded. Oh, I know. I've seen them all already. I just went through them.
No.
That's exactly. No, dude. That moment is fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
And it's not funny at all. Like, it should be hilarious, but it's not.
All right, let's.
You're like, fuck yeah. I want to see
same.
some monkeys beat some people up.
Stoner Bros said those same exact cartridges she had is a felony in Indiana, equivalent to having heroin. So the sentence isn't too much. Hell, here she would have gotten off due to her celebrity.
Well, right.
I didn't know. I didn't know that they were comparable to heroin.
As far as how they're scheduled.
Really?
Well, technically marijuana still is. Certain states have decriminalized, but on the books, as far as the DEA is concerned, it's a Schedule 1, correct? That I'm thinking about that term right?
I don't know.
Schedule 1 controlled substance. It is in the same level as heroin.
He says here in Indiana they are. It's the way it's packaged as pure. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Stoner Bros would know.
But still, though, man, 9 years. You don't think that's a little too excessive, though?
Oh, it's massively excessive, but it just.
Well, I mean, now knowing this, I don't know what to think anymore. I mean, 9 years though in a fucking Russian prison. Ooh, that sucks.
The fuck that noise.
I mean, do we know if it sucks? I mean, is it really that bad?
Dude, it's a Russian prison.
It's a gulag.
I mean,
you got to fight your way out, and if you win, you get to leave prison, and the other person dies.
Technically, the actual wording wasn't prison; it was a penal colony. So they're putting her ass to work. You know what it might be? This might be a lot more innocent than we think it is. It might be a case of like, oh shit, this girl's 7'9", and we got a bunch of big ass rocks that need broken.
No. They're like, this girl's 7'9". We've got a bunch of short old ladies at the grocery store.
She's not. Wait, is she's not 7'9". She's 6'9".
She's like
6'9". She's 6'9". I almost forgot.
Well, I was gonna say she could help little old ladies at grocery stores get shit off the top shelf. He says, look up prisons in other countries on YouTube. They live good over there. She gonna be in prison basketball team.
It'll be like The Longest Yard, but the Russian version.
Get your ass over here and play basketball for me.
That was traveling.
This is the prison station. Oh, I can't do it.
Station,
yeah. What the fuck?
You dropped a bit south there, mate. Right in the middle of the sentence.
This is the prison station.
The Persian station?
Prison. Why am I trying to roll the fucking R?
I don't know.
This is the prison station. See, what the fuck is going on with my accent?
See, what's happening here is
it keeps dropping on
you're dropping south. You need to keep it up. Crikey.
That's fucked up. I'm going to look that up after we get done with this.
Yeah. Speaking of which, before we jump, I closing thoughts on Brittney Griner. Like, I want her back in the States so that I can not watch her play basketball.
I don't care.
Well, about her basketball, I want her back as an American. I want her back and safe and
how many other Americans get arrested in other countries and end up staying over there?
Well, but how many of them do stupid fucking shit? You know, it's like I felt zero sympathy of the American couple that decided they were gonna bike through Iran
and try to change the. They were Jesus people, right? Or not? I'm sorry.
No, I think they were. If I remember correctly, they were ethnically Iranian.
Were they?
I could be wrong. I might be that was some time ago.
Weren't they beheaded?
I don't know specifically. I know they were killed. They were arrested for espionage and executed.
Okay.
So yeah.
So
see, what we need to do is we need to send a Canadian basketball team into Russia. Get her to join the team, get her a fake passport and a new identity, bust her out of prison and be like, oh, we've played. But before she can leave, she has to play in a game so that the ruse can. And if you haven't put the pieces together yet, this is a massive Argo joke.
This is a good game, eh?
This good game, eh? Oh, I could sure go for some hashish oil right now, eh? And then they all get arrested.
Oh gosh. You can't arrest us all, eh? Sure, fuck we can.
Well, and they're Canadians, so they put them in 2 cells and they just spend farting on each other all night.
Hey, Philip. All right, so do we want to talk about Mr. Nancy Pelosi or Mr. Alex Jones? Let's go with Nancy Pelosi since Alex Jones is last on the card.
Alex Jones broke today, like a couple hours before the podcast.
So anyway, the whole Nancy Pelosi husband DUI, and have you? What are you talking about with Nancy Pelosi? Do you not know what's going on?
No, I'm talking about Taiwan.
Okay, well, there's more going on.
And enlighten me, sir.
Okay, so Nancy Pelosi, her husband recently got a DUI. And the thing is, it went to trial, and I'm going to assume it wasn't going to go well for the people in charge. And the judge literally stepped down, and they had to get a new judge. And the judge was he's what is it? Democratic prosecutor, Democratic everything, all around. And I guarantee you, he's going to get let off. And the thing is, the media was trying to say that Mr. Pelosi, he actually was not just charged with DUI, not caught. People were injured. He was driving drunk and I believe got into a wreck. And the people are actually fairly seriously hurt.
Oh, you know what? I saw something where she was being asked about this and she refused to comment.
Oh, so, yeah. And but the thing is, like, those people, they have their medical bills and their medical, whatever.
Oh, and it's
how's it going to get buried? Like,
and it's not like the Pelosi's can't afford it.
Well, that's the thing. It's not that they can't afford it. It's like they're gonna, if these people really want to drag them for money, yeah, they're gonna get it. If they shut up.
They can't afford it though. They can't. The people who would want to sue them can't afford that.
Well, if they take all their medical fucking documents to any other news company that wants to run it.
That's the only course they have.
And that would be a whistleblower. Well, I mean, not technically a whistleblower, but that would be a running out of time. 10 minutes.
Fucking Zoom. We need to find it. Well, actually, you know what? Next week I'll just come down. But I need to find a substitute. Yeah. Oh yeah. I would have this week, but honestly, I'm tired as shit today.
No, you're good. You're good. I completely forgot.
I'm going to bed after this podcast is over.
But anyway, so she, I mean. Yeah, there's ways around this. Like, yeah, they're powerful, blah, 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 blah. They have a lot of power and control, but yet, I'm sorry, but it's not that hard to spread things around on social media. And if they put out their own fucking actual documents and...
Send them to us. We'll air them. We'll just make a 10-hour video, a continuous loop of the scans of the documents.
But I digress. Nancy Pelosi landing in Taiwan... when fucking China is literally saying not to. And it's like, can you guys not? Like, every fucking step they take, they're like, oh, you want to wage war? Hold on, let me step on your toes. It's like, dude, we don't want fucking war with anybody.
Well, you know what, though? And I'm going back and forth on this. Because on the one hand, I'm a fan of people saying fuck you to China. But I question why this particular visit was necessary.
My point exactly. It's
because
not...
this... Well, here's the thing, and this is me being the cynical, jaded fuck I am. What's she doing there? She ain't there just to talk to politicians.
No, and it's like, are you trying to get down to the... are you trying to get into where COVID came from? Because you're in the wrong fucking country.
No, I think there's something money related.
Oh, guaranteed, and it's
Well,
it's off the books
well,
money.
and what this might be, although I question why Pelosi would be the person doing this if this is the case. Taiwan has a lot of really robust, uh, among other things, microchip manufacturing, and the U.S. needs that shit. So this might be just kind of bolstering relations. Now, I'm gonna for everybody who says that we're Republicans, I'm gonna sling some shit Fox News' way because I had heard that there were people in Taiwan protesting Pelosi being there. Now, the only news article I could find, and granted, I didn't exactly search like 6 pages of Google, but the only article I could find talking about the protesters was a Fox News article. But you know what, Fox News, you fucked up on this one. This was intentionally misleading because the headline said many Taiwan citizens protest Pelosi's arrival, but then in the fucking article, first of all, they used a photograph of a person of Chinese ethnicity, I guess, tearing an American flag. This photo, and it's credited under the photo, this picture was taken in Hong Kong, not Taiwan. And it even said this was a pro Chinese unification person. And every statement and example they had of Taiwanese protesters protesting Pelosi were all spokespeople for the like unified China, or basically they were pro CCP in Taiwan, pro Chinese unification. It's like the fuck, Fox News, really?
Oh, yeah, never mind. I was getting ready to take that a different way. I forgot where you were. Anyway,
You were about to say fuck CNN, really?
no, for some reason my brain was like, what the fuck is she doing there if she's talking about the CCP? Because the thing, or she's meeting with people that are pro CCP.
Oh no, no.
Yeah.
These were protesters, not government. Now, I will say I watched one cringe moment when she was giving her speech, and she's like, and a woman president, because the president of Taiwan is a woman. And she said, I'm very happy to be here with the president of Taiwan, who's a woman president as well. And then there's like silence, and she's like, well, that's you know, what did she, something to the effect of like, well, that's a statement for applause. And then people started like slowly clapping. I'm like, bitch.
Cringe.
Yeah, it was bad. It was pretty bad.
It's like, I'm sorry, but I don't care if you're man, woman, gay, straight, black, white, silver. I don't care if you're in power. I'm not going to clap for you just because of your fucking race or gender. I don't care.
And man, I agree mostly, but fuck those purple people.
Fucking purple people eaters.
Yeah, fuck those people eaters.
But the thing is, it's like, no,
all the
I'm
purple
good.
people eaters must die.
It matters what you do. If you're doing, I don't give a fuck what the fuck you look like or anything like that. It's what you're doing with your time in office. If you're doing something that's beneficial towards the entire country, American people, world, if you're over in Taiwan, the Taiwan people. If not, shut the fuck up and quit. Come up, accept your little award, thank your God. No, I'm just kidding.
Unless she's hot.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Who, I don't even understand how she's still allowed to call herself a Democrat with all the shit she's talking. Rightfully so.
Because she's a moderate Democrat. I mean, do people forget what the word moderate means or centrist?
See, she would not be out of place at all, even in the early 2000s, I don't think.
No, she'd fit right in.
Yeah, she would have been right in even the early Obama years. Like, she would fit right in.
Yeah.
She's one of the few who hasn't sold her soul to the socialist mob.
Establishment.
The crazy faction.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, it's like they supposedly believe in free speech, but if you don't agree with them, you're the most evil person in the world. And it's like, you don't even have to be right or centrist or anything like that. You could be on the left. Like, literally, I was watching this guy on YouTube, what is it, Common Ground? I'm going to assume he's more conservative, but I'm not 100% sure. But the thing is, he went to an abortion rally, and he was talking about that he draws the line here. And it was when he actually explained to people and showed people pictures of babies, how they form, and at what weeks they look like, where he drew the line was less than
was
after.
Later.
After what theirs were, and they're like, oh my, and he's like, he goes, that's great, he goes, and I was just like, damn.
Yeah, well, and again, like, as I'd even go so far as to say, Western society, certainly in the U.S. for the most part,
we're fucking comfortable and bored. That's why we fucking argue. That's all it is. We're comfortable and bored. We're not fucking out in these fields like doing shit. I'm not gonna say anything.
We're not fucking. I wish I had my. I don't have sunglasses.
Well, that's the problem, dude. We're fucking bored.
We're not fucking fighting saber-toothed tigers anymore.
But that's the number one problem with Americans and why they're on fucking depression pills and all this fucking wonderful shit is because they have too much readily available at their hands and they've got too much to choose, so they literally choose nothing and go out of their minds. Remember when we were kids and we had fucking, I had cable, but still, you had cable at your dad's. How many fucking channels had actually stuff on there that we wanted to watch?
Very little. And
even then, when we had 2 and 3 and a couple channels, we had DVDs and whatnot, but we'd watch the same shit over and over. We were less bored because we went out and did stuff.
I still do. Yeah, that's the thing. Well, and we watched TV, but it was usually at night when we had to be inside anyway.
Yeah, I'm talking like everybody per se for now, but it's just we're bored. That's the thing. We're bored and fat. The world is getting bored and fat, and it's getting bad.
In the absence of an actual crisis or injustice, we tend to manufacture one. That's why it's like, that's why I kind of get bent out of shape when people, and I hate to, I'm not picking on them, but this is the recent example, the whole the trans rights crusade. And before I get shit on for this, I'm not saying that they're not people. I'm just saying that if you compare that to the civil rights, struggle of the 1960s, you're like, that's ridiculous. It's not even close to being the same thing.
No,
and I'm not inherently saying that they're wrong. I'm just saying that comparison is an inappropriate one.
And they have more rights and stuff like that.
Well, that's why it's an inappropriate one.
All right,
it's an inappropriate comparison.
I'm going to end this real quick and call you back.
Oh no.
Hello, big beautiful man. Just 1 second until Jake gets his ass back on. I'm gonna have to actually pay for this. Actually, no, we don't need to. Gummy bears, just CBD. This is a sponsored video by OMG CBD in Columbus, Indiana, 935 2nd Street.
Take these to Russia.
Actually, those have no THC in them. Right? Or is it point? Or is it
no? This is
0.03?
See, it even where's it? It even says
just CBD. But the thing is, though, it depends on Russia. They might be.
Yeah, I don't know about CBD.
Yeah. So
about hemp.
So
that was gross.
Are we done beating down on Pelosi? Do we want to switch over to Alex Jones and beat him down for a minute?
So I kind of touched on this, but generally speaking, I'm a fan of the United States standing up to China, but in this particular case, I kind of question if this was the time to do it, because I don't really see now that, and this is one of those situations where how it's going to be viewed depends on how China reacts, because thus far, China was like, we won't hesitate to take military action if Pelosi is going to Taiwan. Well, she's in Taiwan. She's been there, and they didn't do fuck all.
Well, actually, she left, and then they actually have ships all around Taiwan, and they were shooting missiles over Taiwan.
Yeah, I know, but they're
not saying that's not nothing. You know what I mean?
As far as it stands now, and this could change, and this is what I mean by this moment will be remembered based upon what China does next. Because if they're just blustering and saber rattling, well, then it's like, okay, well, that more bark than bite, because it seems like that's what they're doing. They're just saber rattling. But But that's kind of why I question like this, and they would know this more than I do. The leadership in Taiwan may have seen this as an opportunity for appropriate defiance. And and this is what it's funny because so many people are so afraid of China, and I'm sitting here and I'm just like, well, if they were gonna take Taiwan, don't you think they'd have done it by now?
Yeah, right. But the thing is, though, this actually ties into this whole conflict between Taiwan and China. Um, Russia did say they would get involved if the China-Taiwan conflict. You know, basically saying if America got involved, that Russia would be on China's side. Russia literally said they would be on China's side.
Yeah, and that might have scared us a little bit more until we saw what went down in Ukraine.
Yeah, and then the funny thing is, we can just tell them, like, take a step back and literally fuck your own face.
Well, and let's be real here, and this is kind of what I talk to everybody else. Like, don't get me wrong, this would be horrible. I hope this doesn't happen.
I think I just killed 2 headphone users. we had 4, and I yelled, and they instantly backed down.
But let's be real here. So the Confederation on China's side would be Russia and China, and then maybe a couple of former Soviet states that are aligned with Russia. I think Belarus being one of them. Against the United States, Japan, India, and fucking South. So let's even assume that North Korea would get involved. So North and South Korea will just start fighting each other again. Australia's in the so basically the rest of the fucking world versus Russia and China. And China really, and part of the reason they might be blustering so much is because China is not sitting very well because they're about ready to have a financial crisis if they're not careful. And here's the fucked up part. There's nothing they can fucking do about it. So for those of you who don't know what's going on in China, because of the way their economy is structured, one of the biggest investments for the average person in China is real estate. So you have a situation here that's somewhat similar to the '08 crisis in the US, but it's actually a lot worse because a lot of these people have mortgages on properties that don't even exist yet. And what has happened is a lot of these companies are basically taking the money that people are giving them for the house that they're building and they're using it to lease more land from the government. So when they run out of cash flow and they can't make construction, you know, basically a bunch of construction projects have been massively delayed. So what a bunch of people have done is in protest, they've stopped paying their mortgages. Now here, if you stop paying your mortgage, they repossess your house, but there's no house to repossess. So what are you going to do? So, and this is massive. Like, this is a massive protest. So much so that a lot of banks in China have stopped basically allowing people to withdraw money, or at least they've limited the amount one can withdraw. So now not only are a bunch of people paying mortgages on houses that don't exist and might not ever exist, they are now being told that they can't get their own money out of the bank. In China. So this could theoretically lead to a financial collapse. And even if the CCP manages to, like artificially inflate the economy and funnel, basically they're going to have to print money or sell off a bunch of assets to international investors, none of which is particularly good for the CCP, because if they print money, it'll lead to inflation. And we're not talking like a few $100 million. We're talking into the trillions here for the whole situation.
They could sell some of our debt back, pennies on the dollar.
Well, and here's the thing, though, but what's going to happen, too, is a lot of the super wealthy in China had probably already seen the writing on the wall, and they're investing elsewhere. Here, for example.
You want to know what's funny is a lot of these crypto companies that make ASIC miners, they don't accept anything else other than crypto.
Well, right. Why would they?
Because they're smart.
Oh, and then there was some news about how Russia and China were creating their own reserve currency, and everybody was freaking out. I'm like, okay.
So what? Russia's not going to fuck around with another currency. The ruble's doing too well.
Well, no, I guess the point being...
From what we know.
Well, and here's the thing, and this is like, on the surface, this does sound scary, because the new currency is allegedly going to be backed by things like precious metals. However, the dollar is already kind of backed by oil. It's not directly backed by, but it's tied to the price of oil, or the price of oil is tied to the dollar, I should say, and they're interwoven. So the dollar already has kind of a backing, so long as that's what the international trade currency for oil is. And at the moment, it is, with the exception of certain outliers like Russia and Venezuela and China, I believe. So that's already kind of status quo, at least as far as I see it. But here's the other thing. Now, there are a lot of precious metals, but you've got to remember there's a reason the United States went off of the gold standard. And that's because you cannot artificially print money if your currency is backed to an actual tangible asset. So it's not really going to boost your economy like the way you think it. It might in the immediate, but unless you get a lot more of those resources, the value of your currency is not going to go up.
How do you know what year we stopped backing it with gold?
It's hard to say because there wasn't one specific time, and they've gone back and forth a couple of different times. But I believe, I don't want to speak out of turn here, so I'm going to look this up. Hold on.
Can you Google that for me, Jamie?
No, not HSV test. US. Okay, so apparently it officially completely ended in 1971, but it'd been a thing basically from the inception of the country well into the 1920s. And then when the Great Depression happened, they kind of stepped away from it for a while, but then they reattached it.
That's a Mandela effect, I swear. I remember talking about it as a child, like 9, 10, maybe 11 years old, and talking about how the dollar was backed by gold.
You know what, though? Like, literally, I remember having this conversation, too. I think there's a lot of people who assumed it was, because you have to remember, we would have been told this by our parents or grandparents, depending on their ages, and when they were alive, that was true.
They didn't know.
Yeah, they may not have known any better.
Or
they may not have known any better, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and here's where it gets kind of complicated, because there are silver certificate bills that are newer than some Federal Reserve bills. So it wasn't like a single decision where they're like, we're severing the gold standard. It's been a journey. And some people postulate, there's no way to prove this, some people postulate that one of the reasons that JFK was assassinated was because he was preparing to sign an executive order that would have reinstated at least part of the dollar being tied to gold, like returning to the gold standard.
Not to mention he wanted to lessen government.
Which was weird for a Democrat, right?
That's why he got smoked.
That's why he got smoked. But it's really because he knew that Marilyn Monroe had a penis.
You're not talking about Michael Obama, are you? Have you heard about that?
I've seen the photo.
It's bullshit, but the thing is,
it is bullshit, but it's
still funny because, like, the picture, it was a living will and testament. I don't know if you saw that, but it was a last testament will from Michael's mother, and since it was a will, it had to have the legal name, and whatnot. And I'm just like, okay, so obviously, like I said, it was a lie, because the funny thing is, Michelle Obama's mom is still alive.
Well, and you know what's funny is I've actually met I knew 2 girls that were named Michael. Really? In my life. Yeah. Michael, I'm not going to share her last name. Oh, God, that was ages ago. And then Michael Ann, so it was hyphenated, but her name was Michael Ann.
My name is Michelle.
I used to joke with her and say her name was Michael Ann Jello. She did not like that.
No, and neither did Alex Jones.
You know what? We're about to break the internet here. I think In this particular instance, that fucking idiot's getting what he deserved.
He was an idiot for saying that stuff out loud, but at the same time, are we not allowed to
You do understand
discuss our free speech?
This isn't a criminal case.
Yeah, but he's being forced to pay $4 million for what?
In damages for a civil case.
Did he hurt somebody?
Yes, the victims of the Sandy Hook shooting.
He killed them?
No, he didn't kill them, but okay, dude, I want you to put on your empathy hat for a second.
Oh, I have massive empathy, and the thing is, I'm just a big fucking advocate for free speech, and this is what I'm saying. Even if you're an idiot and you say things like, now if you're going to say, go out and kill somebody, or hey, on the internet I'm gonna kill you. Yeah, I'm sorry, you're a fucking idiot, and you deserve locked up. But if you just disagree with something. I mean,
here's the thing, though. The First Amendment protects your speech from persecution from the government. This is not the government. These are private citizens who are taking issue with what he has said because it has caused them mental duress, and honestly, it has.
I don't know, dude. I'm with Alex Jones on this, and I hate to say that. I'm with this. The evidence of that whole bullshit was so fucking weird.
I'm just watching you dig the hole, man.
Hey, it's whatever. I don't care. Like, the evidence and everything that was shown with all that fun stuff, it was fucking weird. I'm not gonna say they were this or that. I'm just saying it was strange.
I digress. To me, it was an extremely poor taste. And don't get me wrong, Alex Jones has been right on. He's been right on some stuff. But he's also said some. He's also said some real crazy shit.
Joe Rogan put it best. He says, "You say so much shit so fast that we need time to fact check you."
Right.
And the thing is, he went on this because he felt so strongly about it because of the weird evidence. Now the thing is, just because you have weird evidence, and this is where I'm coming from. Just because you have weird evidence doesn't negate that something happened. It's just weird. Because the thing is, we don't have all the details. It's like, like, I hate to say it like this, but I had a friend kill himself, and no one knew why. Mm-hmm. So we don't know context, details. We just knew he killed himself. So therefore, it's like, you want to know. You want to know, was it something I did? Something like that. So you want details of a story, and like I said, the details and everything like that they were weird. But it doesn't negate the fact that people lost their children. And what he did was very insensitive and fucking just really bad.
Extremely.
But I mean,
I guess the difference between what Alex Jones did and the situation you're talking about is no one is disputing that he died.
Oh yeah, no. I'm with you on that.
But I think you can agree that if somebody had been like, he's not dead, he's just like Kenny from South Park, he'll be back next week. Like,
yeah,
like, I think
no one negates that.
Yeah. But that's what Alex Jones did, essentially.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, all the stuff that was put out and this and that, it's like, at the end of the day, if you want to look up fucking something, you can find two sides of that something that back your claim. And it could be on the opposite polar ends. And
it's up to you as an individual to look at that evidence and come to your own conclusion. It's like, and that's why I shouldn't say that I get upset, but I do kind of roll my eyes a lot when we do get negative comments, because it's like, at what point are we saying that we're experts here?
Never.
I thought the logo and name made it pretty clear.
What average? You could even say below average.
It's a fucking chimp. Our logo's literally a monkey in a suit. We are the definition of posers.
I just gotta say it. I'm kind of retarded.
Listen, I think we should just take a step back and.
You cut out. It was like. I
think you should take a step back and. Throw grace.
I think the reason being, like, the dude was so adamant about it being a conspiracy was because of all the shit that's gone down in this country. When big things happen, there, like I said, things are weird. Like the whole 9/11. There's so many people nowadays that just believe 9/11 was an not inside job, but it was like it was,
Yeah. Well, I
set
get
up.
well. So here's the thing, and I can appreciate that. If, let's just say hypothetically, if I was a friend of Alex Jones and he had come to me and said, "This is what I believe," I would say, "Dude, I'm not necessarily saying you shouldn't look down this path, but you've got to be very careful, because if you're wrong and you say the wrong things, you
People
could
will
be
come after you.
Yeah, you could be committing, like, not literal suicide, but
Yeah.
social, career, not to
Well,
mention the harm that you would be doing to individuals if this was in fact. Now, flip side of that coin, because I do believe that certainly his intention is to fight for truth and uncover the truth. If that's your intention, there's a way you can go about this. You could even approach the families and say, "Look, I can go into specifics if you want. I believe that there's more to this than they're letting on. And if there's any information that you can and want to give me, it would mean the world, because I'm trying to find the truth. If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine."
one problem with that, if it actually is a conspiracy and it's a hush hush operation, they're gonna kill him.
Well, but okay, but that's no different.
Not the people like doing it, but like the people behind.
That's what I'm saying. But there's no difference there. There's no difference there than him going on about, "It was an inside job."
But hold on, like this isn't the same thing. But like another weird conspiracy, the school shooting that just happened in Udall.
Uvalde.
Thank you, Uvalde. I mean,
Yeah.
how many cops were there, and yet no one like went in? I mean, like they supposedly there was only one person in there with a gun or something like that. Not the shooter, but like someone trying to protect the children or whatnot. And it just the details are like they don't make any sense. And then we have this guy in the Greenwood Park Mall who literally takes a guy out after don't get me wrong, he shot dead 2 people or 3. Was it 3?
I think 9 people in total were shot. I think there were 3 fatalities. I'm not sure.
3 fatalities, 4 including him.
Not. I was gonna say not including the shooter.
But yeah, so that right there, it's like, I mean, I don't know. Like I'm not dog need to go out.
No, she's just
being weird.
Yeah, she's just being weird.
You got the government out the back door right now. They couldn't find my house.
She ain't smart enough.
Because I'm in the I'm on the beach.
Oh, you're in beach and
I'm in another country. They can't do shit.
Yeah, no extradition.
But no, like, it's weird things happening all over, and that's exactly why like people run with stories and then their brains go fucking everywhere. Because I mean, when you're laying in pitch black and you start thinking of scary things, what do you start seeing? Scary things. You're seeing things that aren't there.
I see myself. And then I look at myself and I go, "Ah!" And then I get scared and run.
But do I think the $4 million is justified? No. Because me as a parent, I mean, I would just personally beat the guy down. I'm not gonna sue him.
Well, we can't do that.
I would. I mean,
you could, but then he can sue you.
Yeah, and have at it. I'll break your fucking face to the point where you can't eat anything ever again if you talk about my dead child.
Well, that's okay, because I'm going to start eating telepathically.
But no.
I'm just going to imagine the steak, and it's going to appear in my stomach.
Me, as a person, I would like literally want to talk to a guy. I'd be like, I want to know how your mind works. How did you come to this position?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I would love, and that's what I think Joe Rogan
what
likes
do you
to do
have? What do you have proof-wise? Show it to me, because he's shown a lot of stuff, when he was going on about it, and some of the stuff was like kind of like, huh.
Yeah.
Now I take everything with a grain of salt because of the fucking internet.
Well, and here's the thing, though. I took Epstein's Island with a grain of salt, and then
just saying. And then what? Who was it? It was Alex Jones who snuck into what's the island in where they were doing the mock sacrifices. Well, supposedly mock sacrifices.
Is that on an island? I just thought
Bohemian Grove. Bohemian Grove.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he snuck in there with a video camera. What was that him? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how he actually initially got famous, was for that. Because people are like, he has balls of steel going in there.
Well, I mean, let's be real though. If Alex Jones is running at you, I mean, are you going to be first in line? I'm not.
Dude's a big guy.
He's a big dude, and plus he's got the crazy eyes. Like, oh,
you fucking bitch!
They're all sacrificing children. I might be a little retarded. Timah.
You know, the funny thing is, regardless, I respect some of his opinions, and I don't respect some of his opinions. So it's like anybody. It's like Tim Pool. I respect some of his opinions, and I don't respect some of his opinions. You know.
Yeah.
You know, that's where people get off. Like, oh, you watch this guy? I'm like, yeah, I like to get all sides. Is that wrong?
Well, that's literally, you know, and that's going around because people don't understand how you can. I'm running into this personally.
In my mind, runs 24/7. So
it's been this way for a long. People don't understand how you can watch what listen to what somebody says and not necessarily agree with everything they ever say, but agree with certain points and certain things.
There's been times I've agreed with what Joe Biden was saying, and it's not because I appreciate the guy because he's a fucking idiot.
It's because I have a brain.
It's because I have a brain, and you know, whoever wrote his speech made sense at that point.
Yes, and might have been a closet Republican. Who knows? You know, but like because again, because Andrew Tate is now everywhere.
He's blowing up like crazy.
Well, I know exactly how he's blowing up is no secret. It's actually it's fucked up ingenious in a way because he can't be banned because the accounts are not his.
He's an evil genius.
Well, he has an official Instagram and Twitter account, but
so wait, those Tate Daily shit, those aren't even his?
Which ones?
Fuck, dude, there's a Tate Daily Tate Daily clips, and then like Tate clips and Tate speech. And...
Oh yeah, no, those aren't him. Those are all Hustlers University students.
Dude.
Yeah, that's all the affiliate marketing guys.
So where the fuck did his speeches come from?
No, like the content is his.
The original content. Where are they coming from?
A lot of it from podcasts he's been on and stuff like that.
Okay.
Podcast, his emergency meeting podcast, Tate Confidential, which is, even if you don't like the guy, his Tate Confidential series on YouTube is hilariously entertaining.
And the dude really just has great advice.
On some things, but again, some things are... I've heard him say some things were batshit crazy. Now, I understand. I've been watching...
Yeah, like the whole no sleep.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I've been watching him long enough to where
you can tell
when he's being funny.
Mm-hmm.
And you might not find it funny, but it's pretty fucking obvious because when he's like the one people like to point out is a sparkling water thing. I've seen the fucker drink regular water. It's a fucking joke. It's kind of like we bust each other's balls all the time for stupid shit.
Drink water. Well, how was that whole saying go? That was funny. It's so funny.
Oh my!
Your nephew kept saying that at King's
Island.
Oh
no, that was the vape thing. So, breathe air.
Oh, breathe air. My bad.
Well, but like one of my favorite moments is when they're doing the hydration course, and Tristan buys a $500 course on how to achieve elite level hydration online. And then everybody's sitting around the table. It's like, well, what does it say? And he's like, I'm not going to tell you. You have to buy the course.
It's $500.
So then Andrew buys the course. And then they're like, and Andrew's like, this is the greatest $500 I've ever spent. Said, we are going to be hydrated forever. And you're all going to die.
$500 for a course how to stay hydrated.
I know, but it's
drink
so
water.
Funny. What the reason I found that so funny is because it honestly reminded me, and why it's so wholesome to watch Tate Confidential, because granted they're doing it on a much grander scale, but at the end of the day, it's dudes sitting around and just fucking being dudes. They're making fun of each other, they're cutting each other up, but they're having a good time. It's all in good fun. There's no malicious intent anywhere. It's like we used to like. Jesus, if you listen to how we talk to each other sometimes, and you didn't know we were friends, you'd think we fucking hated each other.
That's how it goes, man. You're
I have a
you're talking
foreign.
to someone you don't know, and you're just like, "Hey, buddy, how you doing?" Blah blah blah. You know, and you
And
talk to your
I
best
say,
friend. You're like,
hey,
"Hey, fuck face."
listen, I think you should take a step back.
And literally, fuck your own face.
I just love that. And then, like, I'm sorry, Tristan and Andrew are hilarious against each other.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like, I will burn this house to the ground before I admit that you are right. Oh my God. But case in point being that, and what I love, and this is true, like we were talking about, this is true for so many other people, Trump included, is like, what I love is I get comments on my take content, and they're like, you know, they'll say something, and I'll be like, he's never said that. Like he's never said that.
Yeah,
Ever.
like dumb. I'm sorry. I'll get heat. I don't care. Dumb feminists. The dumb
Yeah.
ones, not all feminists, just the dumb ones,
Well, and
who literally say stupid shit like, "Oh, he said this and this," and it's like, "Oh yeah, can you pinpoint when?"
and they never would. But here's another funny thing, and this is very interesting. My content is getting like a lot of female followers and likes and positive comments.
And I've also noticed that when they're commenting, it is literally agreeing with Tate.
Sometimes there have been some dissenting,
Rare.
but I'm shocked at the number of women. And I'm not even talking about the one that's gone semi-viral where he's talking about how he retired his mother. I'm talking about the shit where he's giving like dating and relationship advice. A lot of women are saying he's right. And that is interesting to me. I did not think that was going to happen.
Because fucking at the end of the day, do you want a piece of shit who can't protect you?
Well, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking like the kind of the infamous one is the one where he's like, you know, my views aren't mad. What have I said so far? I said women shouldn't be hoes. I've said that man should have some level of control because he's expected to protect. And, you know, like there's two other things that, you know, if it was anybody, but I'll put it this way. If AOC said it, everybody would be agreeing.
I don't know, man. The left loves to eat their own.
They do. But
so if she said that, they'd be like, "Oh no, she's not the Messiah anymore. Eat her brains."
What brains?
The ones
Well,
in her ass.
I just find it funny that, you know, nowadays it's not what the message is, it's who's saying it that matters more. Because again, you had Trump during the first stimulus payments. Well, if you remember, the whole Occupy Wall Street thing was essentially a response to the government bailing out corporations and not the people. Well, then Trump comes and bails out the people. And he's still the devil.
He always will be.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not even...
He's a white man.
He's a white man. Damn it, Bobby, he's white.
Even if, you know, and the funny thing is Malcolm X literally said, "Beware the white liberal."
Yep. And what's really kind of eerily funny about that is I'd been thinking that I didn't know Malcolm X had said this in the 1960s. And I was thinking that, I'm like, you know, is it just me or is the white liberal like one of the most racist fuckers ever? And then I saw the clip of Malcolm X saying it in 1967, I think. I know it was in the 60s. And I'm like, holy fuck. Well, I guess I'm right then. Because if anybody's going to talk about civil rights, Malcolm X is one of the people I'm going to listen to.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, I'm not going to. Yeah.
We have 8 minutes and 48 seconds to wrap it up.
So actually, I would like to ask the viewers. We probably won't get a comment, but I wanted to run something by you and our viewers. I had an idea for not necessarily although we could do this as a podcast episode. I was kind of inspired by, I'd seen Ben Shapiro's original video, and then I saw, I think the channel's called Mr. Terry History. It's something like that. His channel's awesome. He's a history teacher who reacts to history content on YouTube. But he reacted to Shapiro's video where Shapiro basically went through and ranked all the presidents. I thought that'd be kind of fun. Maybe not a podcast episode, but a video we could record, possibly.
And rank the presidents?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a scale. We'd do it more basically, like on a scale of A through F, and maybe
you know a lot more on that stuff than me. But the thing is, I can hold my own.
Yeah. Well, and the whole point is like maybe the folks out there, maybe we can all learn something.
Yes, and y'all can chime in and prove us wrong, which we love. Please.
Yeah. I love being proven wrong. I mean, it hasn't happened yet, but that's not true. That's not true. I admit it. You can't. If you've watched this podcast from day one, you have to admit that when I fuck something up, I own it. When we fuck something up, we own it.
And the funny thing is, there was a few times that I shut you up on our Kings Island trip. Well, actually, it was only like one or two times, and you looked it up, and you're like, ah, put your phone away. I can't remember what it was, but maybe it'll come back to me. It wasn't anything big or anything like that. Big.
Yeah.
It was just something stupid. But, yes. So, I've got nothing.
Buy CBD gummies.
Speaking of.
And fly to Russia.
Depending on viewership, because viewership has been booming here lately. So if more people start subscribing, we will do a giveaway.
Do we want to do a 100 subscriber giveaway?
Don't tell anybody. I've got it cut off. I'm just going to say if we hit a certain subscriber point, we will announce a giveaway.
So guess what we're going to do?
So keep subscribing.
We're going to double the giveaway.
And we're necessarily not going to give away those exact gummies right there.
No,
it might be something else. It might be of your choice, So
it might be up to $1 amount. I don't know.
And it should be within America, simply just because you're shipping gummies or something like that. Like you want them to stay healthy and not get melted.
And just so the people know that I endorse this product.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting ready to go take one myself.
So good. Oh, I'm going to sleep so good tonight.
And that is just the melatonin and CBD blend.
I'm on the clock. I got about 10 minutes before I start feeling it.
Well, we got 5 minutes left on this. So, lead us out, big boy. That was weird. Don't ever say that.
Chewing my gummy.
Chew it faster. With your mouth open.
I'm not going to listen to that part because I hate that shit. Anyway, thank you for enjoying this episode of the Average Intelligence Podcast. I hope you became a little bit less average and a little bit more intelligent.
Ooh. I like that.
I like that too.
That was right. That was the gummy.
That's a t-shirt right there. Anyway, as always, be sure to like, share, and subscribe because the algorithm is against us, but we are slowly, thanks to Hustlers University,
slowly breaking through the matrix.
Learning how, we're learning how to work with the algorithm. And I'm telling you what, like, talk about working kind of overnight, like shit. Even TikTok's gotten better. But you can check us out on TikTok. There are several clips, and they're different clips because we try to keep the content a little bit different. It's no fun if it's the same across every platform. There's some overlap. But the TikTok stuff, you can find us on TikTok at Rete Media, RETE Media, just spelled just like right there. You'll know it because this logo's right there. And then you can also, if you prefer to listen to the podcast as opposed to watching it, you can check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon, Radio Now, Stitcher, Audible, Anchor, and some other smaller ones that I can never remember, but they're all there. It's not hard to Google it. Fucking Google it. Google it. You'll find us. Like the video.
Like, share, and subscribe.
And share it with everyone.
Yes.
Send it to your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your Russian
significant other.
Because we don't discriminate. We hate everyone.
Including ourselves.
And make sure you subscribe so that you can be entered into the giveaway, which may or may not be these items.
Yes. It'll all depend on Depends if you're wearing Depends.
Before we exit, I'd like to give a shout out to the bravest people in the world.
Leftists?
No. And I actually, like, this is kind of a joke, but I actually kind of believe this truly. I think some of the bravest people in the world are the models that model the Depends underwear, but show their face.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't
that's
know,
either
dude. What about the
that's
people doing the herpes medication and they're on the fucking commercial? I have
dude,
genital herpes.
they're not showing them applying it to their herpes though.
Yeah, I guess
Like,
they are
I'm
wearing it.
sorry, full body photo of a bro or a chick wearing an adult diaper, that's brave or desperate. It could be one of the two. But if you're that desperate, there's always porn.
That's the future, buddy. All right, everybody. We're gonna end on that note.
Leave.
We keep going. We're done for.